Thanks for joining us. I'm Dale Minyo, and this is Patrick Nightingale. He's a teacher at Kipp Academy. The background you may see behind us, you'll see in a video, is of the Waterman Farm at The Ohio State University. We're here today as a partnership between the GrowNextGen education program, sponsored by the Ohio Soybean Council, and The Ohio State University, where they're helping to create an environment in a partnership for a national pilot project that involves students learning more through outdoor experiences. Patrick, this is a great place to bring you into this because as a teacher educator, you've got a good bit of experience not only in high school science classes, but also helping to write some curriculum for high school teachers. What's more interesting, teaching or writing for teachers to teach?
Oh man, I definitely think teaching is more interesting because it's different day to day, but I find the writing curriculum one of the more passionate sides of teaching.
And somewhere in that passion, you ran across agriculture enough that you kind of like the idea of let's help people understand agriculture. And from a teacher's perspective, we love the idea that teachers love what farmers do every day.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've always taught environmental science, and part of environmental science is agriculture. And I found in my experience, agriculture is one of the most accessible forms of science for students to get into. So I love that we're here. I love that my AP environmental class is getting to see agriculture in real life.
And you snuck back out from when we did some earlier interviews to see some of your students experience it. What's your reaction? What did you see them doing that you may or may not see in a classroom?
Yeah, so it's been an amazing experience. I've only been able to go to one of the 3 stations here, but already I've seen them model and create their own model of a cow's stomach. And so they're holding this water bottle that has ruminant fluid and their food choice, their enzyme, and they are holding it while they're looking at the cows and petting the cows themselves. And it's really hands-on, visceral experience for these students who otherwise might just be reading it on a worksheet or reading an article online.
Yeah, and how do you explain what you just saw, what you saw them do? I mean, that would take pages and how many rewrites to try to get the right impression. There was a young girl walking past our trailer when we were doing the radio broadcast, carrying one and had a balloon on top of it. And it was like, you know, this is my project for the day. And it looked like it meant something to her. And she was off heading to the cow barn. So
it becomes very personal. You know, education is experience. And so they're getting the experience here. And like what you said, what I could teach over a week, they're learning just by holding this thing that they made themselves.
Now, in general, is your class inquisitive? Is this someplace where they're really going, oh my, am I allowed to ask questions?
I think that they're a little bit more uneasy here than they are in the classroom because this is their first time out into an actual farm and an experience like this.
They're afraid of cows being out, right?
Yeah, I think we're finding as they go from station to station, they are asking more questions, which is what teachers want this entire time.
Yeah, I passed a group, and I don't know from what station they were going to, but when I passed them, the leader of the group was explaining how she first got involved in dairy and how it has led now to college classes and a change in major to the dairy industry. So I didn't get to stop and say, what was your major before that? But it was interesting that they were having their own interaction in this outdoor day and it's raining. They weren't rushing to get to the next location. They were embracing the opportunity to talk.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of us, I mean, we all eat every day, most of us, right? And we don't really consider where our food comes from. And I found that in my experience with students, it's the same. They don't really consider past the cafeteria where their food comes from. But once they start seeing the actual mechanics of it, that opens their world or their brain to a whole new world of possibilities beyond high school.
Yeah, I got to believe when you go out and see a cow and then you try to think of milk from there and you look at the feedstuffs that they talked about in the classroom a little bit before they went out there and their own little stomach enzyme thing, that's a lot of material in one day that you just can't replicate somewhere other than, in this case, it's a perfect environment for it.
Yeah, and I was talking with Allison, who's been leading this ruminant station, and what she was telling me is they're raising the cows to produce milk, to produce cheese, which they might then sell to Chipotle in the Columbus area. And so it's real life, and all of these steps that you could spend all day explaining to students, they're able to see that in 10, 20-minute activities.
Two-part question. How will this experience impact what you do in the classroom, and how do you think it will impact how they receive future material from folks like GrowNextGen or others of topics that they're not that closely experienced with?
So that's a great question, and I would say that I can refer back to this experience for all of my students here, and they'll immediately know what a ruminant is. They will know what enzymes are. They will know what methane and carbon dioxide are, because those are the manipulatives that they were playing with and holding. For future lessons, I know that I'll be able to go to GrowNextGen's website or go to their website and find other partnerships that they do with other campuses. I know that GrowNextGen wants to continue partnering with OSU for this like national outdoor learning experience, and so I hope that will be able to be included in those future experiences.
Yeah, we're looking forward to finding out more about that. As I understand it, it is still truly in early development stages, and the opportunity could be wide open, but the idea that multiple schools and multiple class sizes could be out here on a regular experience really does help utilize this facility, and it rewards everybody from students who are at Ohio State who might get to lead a session, get to talk to future students, the students themselves, the teachers who have a newfound fondness for the classroom. Like you expressed, it's like, yeah, I really like this, but I like teaching too.
Yeah, and imagine the students talking to each other too. That'll spark a whole new set of conversation for students. If I were to make an analogy, everybody knows about the zoo because a lot of people have been to the zoo. Imagine this in 10 years, everybody will be talking about the outdoor experiences that they've had and how they can use them.
Patrick, thanks for spending time with us today, and thanks for bringing your classroom to an outdoor experience here at The Ohio State University in Waterman Farms. And we thank GrowNextGen, The Ohio State University, and this special pilot project for allowing us to see the inside of where future education may be going because of the hands-on experience they experience right here in Central Ohio. I'm Dale Minyo reporting.